Hey Jazz, how's it going? So much love, so much love. Hey everybody, I just want to give it a second. Guess I got my fedora on today, you know. A little something different. So, if you have a chance to watch this live, I definitely appreciate it. And if you have a chance to watch this later, I also appreciate it. I like to begin any and everything with gratitude. Like the great Jay-Z said, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate it. Welcome back to another episode of Daily Motivation, 365 days of consistency, doing the same things over and over again until they become habit. And we're on 185, officially on the halfway mark. 185. So I appreciate everyone that started this journey with me and that still are around. And I hope these videos have served you well and have done things for you in a positive light. So today I want to talk about how to deal with our issues, how to deal with problems. I mean, we're human beings, so we all have certain issues from the past, anxieties of the future. Hey, John, thank you for watching. Issues, so usually our issues stem from the past, of things that happen to us that we hold on to. Also, anxieties of the future, things that we don't know what's going to happen and what's going to be. And so it gets angst and creates tension. Hi, Awatha. Hey, how's it going, brother? Thank you for watching. And so we're always dealing with certain issues that are plaguing us, either from the past or unknowns of the future. And we bring it into the present moment because we just don't know. And we're just living with thoughts that create issues in our minds. And so the best way, and this is going to be a hard advice for many people because we're used to be told we have to control everything. And I like to say, if you had to control everything, you would have to stand in one place and move all the moons and stars and make sure the sun comes up, make sure the sun sets, make sure the earth rotates, make sure the seed's growing. There's so many different things that you have no control over. And so gaining control over those things are almost a waste of your energy. As a human, you're very finite. You have only a finite amount of energy. You only have a finite amount of resources. You only have a finite amount of attention and awareness. So facing every single problem head on is only expanding the problem. But Rich, I thought if I had control it and I wrote down my goals, or if I try to make things happen, that's when things work. And if you really study the successful people, that's actually the opposite way that things work. So I was listening to a T.D. Jakes speech or sermon once, and he said that if you're going to fight the devil or the enemy or the issues or the problems, he said the best way to beat them, and you could beat them every time if you do this one thing, you could beat your issues, your problems every single time if you do this one thing. He said, simply do not get in the ring. If you want to beat the enemy, beat your problems, beat your issues every time, he said, simply do not get in the ring. Release your problems to the higher source. Some people call it the Tao, some people call it the Buddha, some people call it God. Whatever energy you call it, but it's a releasing of that energy versus attacking it head on. You know, remind me of a story of my mother just the other day. She came to me and she was very, very frustrated. She was angry about a certain issue she's having in her life, where, you know, she's helped some people create their own success so much that she kind of neglected her own. And she said, Rich, you know, I want to have my own thing. I want to be able to do other things than just be stuck in the situation. And she had a lot of angst and anxiety and very frustrated. And I told her, let it go. She's like, but what do you mean let it go? I have to do something. Like, you don't have to do anything. The simple fact that you're trying to control the situation is what is expanding the situation. Now, if you let that situation go, you are allowing the energies of the universe to take over. And through about an hour and a half talk, hey Sue, how's it going? We sat at the park for about an hour and a half just chit-chatting. And finally I could tell her that each conversation she was releasing the energy, releasing the energy, releasing the energy. And finally she said, you know what, Rich, you know what, you're right. I can't control everything. You know, I'm just going to let it go, and, you know, I'm going to have faith. I'm going to have faith that something's going to work out. I said, awesome. She calls me, 24 hours later, she calls me excited. She's like, Rich, do you know what happened? I'm like, no, what happened? She said, somebody called me. I said, okay. And they offered me a gig. I said, really? She said, yeah, full-time gig that I could work from home, exactly what I wanted. I said, amazing. And she said, did you call them? I was like, no. I had nothing to do with it. And she said, but they called me just right after our conversation. I said, because you released it. You released it. So your goal is not to face your problems. Your goal is to release your problems to a higher source, to a faith base, to an energy, to the Tao, to say, I can't control everything, so help me. You release it, and then you become a boat. You know, a boat floats. A boat doesn't get onto the water and just starts, all right, I got to control the water, I got to move the water. The boat just sits on the water, and it floats. And it allows it to be carried. Allows it to be carried. And when you can open up that you're not resisting the energy coming to you, you're opening up. That's when that energy flows through you, and background things are happening to help fix the issues that you are facing at this moment in time. It's happened to me many times. I remember just the other day, you know, my wife was like, hey, I'm not feeling well. You know, I might have to close down shop for a little bit. And I said, okay, well, you know, and of course my mind, I'm going analytic. I'm like, okay, well, we could do this, we could do that, we could do this. And she's like, no, babe. Let's relax. It's going to work itself out. That's our affirmation all the time. It's going to work out. Everything always works out for us. It's going to work out. I said, all right. And then she calls me later that day and says, hey, guess what? Somebody's going to pay us residual money for helping to use our facility. I said, awesome. So the income that we're going to lose, we're going to regain and do nothing about it. Nothing changed. We didn't do anything. We didn't go out and change anything. We just allowed it to come to us. It's the flow of energy that you can do right now. That's what T.D. Jakes said. All you have to do is when you're facing a problem, rebuke that problem. Don't face it on, rebuke it. And have the belief that something will happen that will benefit you to the most positive way. Rebuke that pain. Rebuke being touched as a child. Rebuke the past issues. Rebuke that fight. Rebuke that last relationship. Rebuke that income problem. Rebuke the fear. Rebuke the sickness. Rebuke the hurt. Rebuke the pain. And say, I don't have to face you. You know, TD talks about Michael, the archangel, who's the strongest. You know, he's the warrior. He's the right-hand man. And when he's taking Moses up to heaven, the devil tries to take the body of Moses. And instead of fighting the devil himself, where he could, he said, I rebuke you. He said the enemy would rather hear anything except I rebuke you. Because it knows I don't need to face you myself. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Caddy. I don't need to fight you myself. I have an army behind me. That's what they said, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, because you have an army behind you. A group of angels, energy that's behind you that says, I got your back. But the only way I can get your back is if you allow me to. You cannot fight the enemy yourself. You cannot fight your problems yourself. You cannot deal with those issues yourself. They're too big. They're too strong. All you have to do is release it and say, you know what? I'm not going to face this myself. I allow the energies of the universe to have my back. And say, that's one of my morning affirmations. I said, help me in any issues that I have. Help me. That level of humility to say, I'm not going to try to control the world. I'm just going to allow my positive energy to spread out and let the flow of energy go through me to help me with my issues and my problems. Again, the good book said, do not worry about tomorrow. And I think it also meant don't worry about today either. And release the past. Be present in the moment and say, none of this stuff matters in the biggest scheme. One of my biggest tools that I use is, Rich, 10 years from now, will this issue matter? If 15 years from now, will this issue matter? Hey, if you got everything that you've ever wanted in life, all the affirmations, all the goals that you have, all the great things that you want, no control, just allow powerful. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Caddy, for your comments. Again, please like, please share. This will touch many people in their lives. Instead of facing all those things, allow it into you and rebuke them. And as you lose control, like you're floating on the water. You know, they say it's like swimming. As you keep trying to control the water and you're splashing and splashing, you'll drown. But if you allow and let go, the water will float you through all your problems. So if you got everything you want in life, like all the faith things you have, and say, this is going to be the best year of my life, this is going to be the best life. If all those things came, this problem that you have in front of you, would that even matter? And the answer is most of the time, is no. So instead of taking control of everything and getting anxiety, stressing yourself out, adding more wrinkles to your face, getting yourself older faster, hurting yourself, adding more physical pains into your life, and looking at the world in a negative light, instead, try this. Let go. And let God. Again, either you could agree with me or not agree with me. But either way, I feel this was a successful conversation. Thank you, Caddy. Thank you for everyone for watching. Tiffany, Sue, I hope this served you well. Please like, please share, please comment. Anything that you want in life you can have, but you have to allow it in and let go. And let the light come through. Love is love. I appreciate all of you. Please like, please share, please comment. Namaste.